Thanks for joining us today on 3 Minute Man. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well this afternoon. It's Old Testament Monday. Come on with me and let's read Genesis chapter 21. Genesis 21 verse 9, it's the account after Isaac has been born. It says at verse 9, "And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, scoffing. Therefore she said to Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, namely with Isaac. And the matter was very displeasing in Abraham's sight because of his son." Undoubtedly so. I think you can tell from what the Lord is going to tell Abraham. Abraham loved them. Of course he did. This was Ishmael. This was his child. He was 14 years old at this point. I think he loved Hagar. I think he felt responsible for them, as Sarah has said, to send them away. I think Abraham loved them. I think he felt responsibility for them. I think perhaps he felt like it would be punishing them for their own mistakes. It wasn't Hagar's idea. It was Sarah's idea, actually, and Abraham went along with it. So perhaps he felt like it would be punishing them for their mistakes, for his and Sarah's mistakes. But what he needed to understand was to look at what was happening. It was destroying the family, as you had Ishmael scoffing at Isaac. And we need to understand what was going on, because it wasn't just simply making fun of him. As long as Ishmael remained, there would be a question about, as Sarah says, "For this son shall not be heir with my son," namely with Isaac. There would be a question about who the seed was going to come through as long as Ishmael remained. So the Lord tells Abraham, listen to her. And Abraham had to tell his son Ishmael goodbye, and gave them water and sent them away. Verse 16, it says, "Then she," that'd be Hagar, "went and sat down across from him," that'd be Ishmael, "at a distance of about a bow shot, for she said to herself, Let me not see the death of the boy. So she sat opposite him and lifted her voice and wept." And then something I'd never noticed before, "And God heard the voice of the lad. Then the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven and said to her, What ails you, Hagar? Fear not, for God has heard the voice of the lad where he is." What had Abraham done? Remember, Ishmael's 14 years old. Abraham had taught Ishmael. And what Ishmael was doing was he was crying out to God, for God heard him. Now, who do you think Ishmael was crying out to? Do you think Ishmael was crying out to Allah? No, who Ishmael was crying out to? He was crying out to the God of Abraham. He was crying out to the God of Isaac. He was crying out to the God of Jacob. Obviously, they haven't been born yet. But that is who he's crying out to. He himself had been circumcised with the sign, remember. So at 14 years old, the Lord heard the voice of the lad. And we know what the Lord was going to do. He was going to be with him, and Ishmael would end up taking a wife from the land of Egypt, setting the stage for things to come. Hope you enjoyed this study today. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks for studying with us.